Thank you, everybody. In these days, we have heard a lot of speeches about to revive traditional archery, and we also do our effort to do this. And our aim is to increase the archery base of interest to traditional archery. And today, I will introduce you a successful case in patients with Parkinson's disease, and we will introduce how we increase the base because we use a way to do the design and implementation for traditional archery to many people. And the first part, I will introduce you the successful case. I'm from Taiwan. I am Odin Lin, and I am the lecturer in Department of Chinese as a Second Language of National Taiwan Normal University. I'm also a traditional archer and a horseback archer. This is the picture is our lessons, and the archers is all the patients with Parkinson's disease. So anybody know about the Parkinson's disease? It is a new disease. It was a known degenerative disorder of the central nervous system, but now in the etiology remains unknown. So we have not a very good method to cure the disease completely. Okay. So we can see the picture. The symptom of the Parkinson's disease is like the picture. Can you see? They always have brain facial expression, and the stance is a little forward tilt. And the most as known is they have rigidity and tremor their fingers and their body, and that will reduce their qualities of life seriously. But in now, our medical community cannot cure this disease completely. But we have three ways to face this disease. The first one is use medicine. We call it pharmacologic therapy. But use medicine will have some side effects. The first one is the drug dependence. And the second, I think that the most serious is the endocrine disorders. And the second way to face the disease is surgical therapy. And the patient maybe have a brain surgery. And we know if we have an operation in our brain, that this will be very big risk. So in recent years, the doctors says if we want to provide this risk over side effects, we can use the third ways we call the exercise therapies. And in other words, we do more exercise or sport to help us more health. And in this case, we choose the traditional archery to be the intervention tools. And in the patients in experimental group will have 12 weeks traditional archery lessons, and in control groups they don't need to shoot. And we choose 4 assessment tools to check up the effect of the traditional archery lessons. The first is the Purdue Pegboard test, and the second is Unified PT Rating Scale, and the third is Senior Fitness Test, and the last is Timed Up and Go test. I will introduce you the first and the last one. Okay, this is Purdue Pegboard test. Can you see in the middle area we have a lot of poles. This is research, this is object, and the object have to pick up the nails and plug in the post as soon as possible because they only have 30 seconds to do this. Okay, and the first step, they have to use their right hand to do this as soon as possible. And the second step, they have to use their left hand. And the third step, they have to use both hands together. So this test is check up the patient flexibility. If you know the patient will have a rigidity bodies, so they cannot do this test very well. But after we do the traditional archery lessons, they will increase the speed and they can complete more holes. And time up and go test is like this. We have a chair and a mark in front of the 3 meters, and when the researchers say go, the subject has to stand and go around the mark and back to his chair and sit. So the researcher will calculate the time of the subject. This is time up and go test. And if the patient has good coordination and stability, they can do it fast. So these two tests is to know the motor function of patient. Okay, in my paper there's no raw data, so I show two tables in the PPT. Do you see this column? This table is for the experimental group. This is before they do traditional archery lessons, and this is after they do traditional archery lessons. And we use the statement: if the p-value is smaller than 0.05, it means significant. So right hand, left hand, and both hand, you see the p-value is smaller. So we can say the traditional archery lessons can help patients with Parkinson's disease significantly. And this table is between experimental and control groups. This is the E groups and this is control groups. And we can also see the p-value is also smaller than 0.05. So it also significantly. So if after these two tables, we can say the traditional archery lessons can help the patients with Parkinson's disease very, very good. If you want to know more raw data, maybe you can check these two papers in my reference. The first paper is published in the journal Parkinson's Disease, and the second paper is in Chinese. 中文版的，请可以找王伟宁。This is the essay for the master degrees. Why traditional archery can help? The key points I think is the design and the implementations. So I want to introduce you the key points of lesson design, and the one is the equipment. But before we design it, we have to know the target group. Because our target group is patients, so they have three characters. First, their motor functional impaired. So we cannot give them a difficult training. So the first, we have to design the lesson very easy. And the second, because the disease is not can cure completely, so the patient maybe have a stable emotion. So if we give them difficult training, I think they will give up very fast. Okay, and the third, all the students as a patient, they are traditional archery rookie. So if we give them a training like archers, I think they cannot finish the lessons. So this is the very, very important that we have to know who is our students, who will join the lesson. So our designs have to base on their characters. Okay, because they are not the health people, so we use very, very soft equipment. At first, we use the very soft ball, just only 15 pounds, and the second we use a paper arrow with rubber brown head. You can see this very, very soft, very, very soft. Okay, and the third we use gummy bag to make the target. If the arrow hits the target, and it will go down. It will not rebound to hurt the archers. It's very safe. So every archers can enjoy the lessons, and if they enjoy, they will like traditional archery and continue to practice. And if they continue to practice, they will get the good score, and maybe they will do the real traditional archery, not the lessons for the patients. And the shooting style, we use the easy draw. We use the pinch draw, not the 2 fingers, 3 fingers, or some draw. And 2 fingers or 3 fingers or some draw is a little difficult for the patient because they have finger rigidity. So we always use the pinch draw. And the posture, we use the sitting posture. So if they are not very, very comfortable, they can sit on a chair. Even in a wheelchair is okay. And the shooting distance, the first time we just only have 3 to 5 meters to shoot because we want to make it easier for everyone to hit the bullseye. The shooting distance is short. There is very, very important that if the archer can shoot the bullseye easier, they will like the lessons, and they will feel self-efficacy. This is very, very important for the patient with Parkinson's disease. And we also make some challenge events. The first is the long distance challenge, and the second is the sharp target star, the challenge. You can find the description in my paper. Why I will make some challenge events is because the patient with Parkinson's disease they know the disease is not easy to cure, and they can't cure it completely. So maybe they will feel frustrated in his life. So we have to increase their evidence to do some sports. Only lesson is not enough. We need homeworks. So we prepare resistance band like this. This is a resistance tube, not the resistance band. Resistance band belt is better than the tube because it's easier to buy and cheap than a bow and arrows. So we ask our students to buy this kind of equipment in their home and to do like this. This is archer, but they use some draw way. Okay, or use fish draw way, or use repeaters way. It's easy because this is resistance tube, not the real bow, so they can use in their home. And we also take some photo and the video for the students because we have to know their sport performance. But we will also send the photo and the video to the students. If they see they are very cool or very handsome in the picture, I think they can have more self-efficacy. And about the implementations, the most important is step by step. At first, we provide a safety environment for the students, and if they can play archery, practice archery safety, they will do more exercise, and they will get the higher score of archery. And this will, and the second, we will encourage to them to continue. And if we encourage them to continue, they will have a good performance in the assessment of the research. And we have to increase the admission to more health. And the second is peer pressure. Moderate peer pressure is very important for the patient because they say, my classmates can do it and I will do it. And then he become more and more health, and I will also want to become more and more health. So they will practice more and more and harder and harder. And if they feel the self-efficacy, we will give them positive feedback. If the patient have the positive thinking, they will feel self-efficacy and do keeping the practice. And this is the positive circle. And if they play more time, almost 10 weeks, they can see their progress. We can see the picture. We use pinch stroke. It's easier because we can enforce the thumb and the index fingers in each, and these two fingers is important for the patient. And we take some photos for the patient, but this is he is not the patient, he is our teacher. And if the patient feel on the picture, I'm very handsome, and I can throw the ball very well, and I can shoot very long distance. I think they can have some ambitions to get more health. And this is the resistance belt for the homework. Please see these two pictures. Do you feel it's difficult to promote the traditional archery? We can know why some mistakes. Why will the skills exist, lost, and why? Please remember these two pictures. The origin of all human skills is for life. All skills comes from human life need. All skills will involve with human life. New skill replace old skill completely, and all values of one skill are no longer needed by humans. Is the reason why one skill cannot be passed on. So, I will back to this. If anybody can do horse riding, please raise your hand. Okay, not many. Okay, and if anybody can drive a car? Drive a car? Yes, many. And almost everyone. Why? Because the car is faster. And another reason is the horse is very expensive and not easy to buy. Okay, why the horse will lost and why you use car? We can know it. And this one, the child riding. Is anybody can ride the child? Anybody? No. Okay, so Horseback riding is also exists, but chariot riding is only can find in the movie or in the drama. So not many people we always can play chariot riding in some horse club. And we can see the traditional archery. The role of bows and arrows in ancient human life, we have 4 uses. One is as a tool of production. We use bows and arrows for hunting. Is anybody use bows and arrows for hunting? Please? Only one? Yes, only one. And with guns? I think more than bow and arrows. Okay? And the bow and arrows as a weapon for military combat. Anybody use bow and arrows for combat? No. Use gun? Use missiles? Okay. The third, as one kind of a sports equipment, yes, everybody use this for the championship. Okay. So I know all of us use the bow as one kind of sport equipment. And ceremony tools for ceremony or performance. I think in some competition we have performance competitions, but almost in modern meeting or we always cannot see the performer use bows and arrows. So if value is needed, traditional skill will exist. So we can see the value of traditional archery. The first is cultural value. I think everybody knows this. And the second is physical and aesthetic value. I think everybody is also know this. And the moral and the philosophical value. We can use traditional archery to make some soma development, literacy education for children or for the business leaders. And the fourth is motivation value. In my reference, I remember one article is about an American doctor. They used archery to be an exercise therapy to his patients with cancers. Because the patient with cancers can not feel very hopeful to their life, so if they can do archery very well, maybe they can feel confidence. Okay, 2 ways of application in modern life. The first one is to measure the fashion and the trend. You can see the picture. This is my student. He is a LARP. Do you know LARP? LARP game is a LARP game player, and she needed the long distance engage style, so he learned archery. Okay, this is the one case. And if the movie, the main actor or actress, they use bows and arrows, I think that tomorrow I have students or experience in my classroom. Okay. But I think the most important is for a better life. Okay, how we design an application-oriented traditional archery? The first one is focus on the need of the target group. For the patients with Parkinson's, for the children, for the elderly, for the office workers, they have different characters. So we can, based on the characters, and design our lessons. And we have to use understandable and feasible lessons. Because they are not the professional archer, so we have to make it know easier, and they can play the traditional archery very fast. And we can make some challenge competition and the degree system like the taekwondo or the karate, and they will do continually. The implementation for application-oriented traditional archery. The teacher should instruct and communicate in a very clear manner. So the most important, we do not use the technical terms. the technical terms is not very easy to understand for the normal people. So if we can say anything that they can easy to understand, it will easy to promotion. For students, a good traditional archery experience, I think is very, very important. That your students feel their own progress. You do very well. Give them a positive feedback. You do very well. When you try again, or if they want to try again, you can let your students know the traditional archery is not only for fun. We can teach them some culture and the physical the factors in the traditional archery. Traditional archery can meet everyone's need. Okay. And finally, I have a reflection and aspirations of modern traditional archery. First, the traditional archery is not more than a sport. We think this is not a sport because it's a very beautiful culture, and it also can be some travel thing. Like me to come here, we travel to Korea and know everybody because we have the same interest in the traditional archery. And the second, its value extends beyond competition and the cultural heritage. And the third, its purpose is not limited to achieving technical accuracy. And I think the most important is traditional archery is a craft, culture, and a way of life. You can, through the lesson design, to create demands, and through the experience and the lessons to satisfy your students' needs. Your students need traditional archery. Okay, thank you very much.